guys, today I'm here with another coloring book review for you guys. This is a review of Johanna Basford's latest book. This is The Magical Jungle. This is a follow-up to Secret Garden, Enchanted Forest, and Lost Ocean. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about a little bit of an overview of the book, as well as the pros, the cons of the book, and then at the end, I'll give you my final verdict if I think this book is worth purchasing. Before I begin, just let me say that I have done reviews for the Secret Garden and Enchanted Forest, which I will link above. These books are all very similar, so a lot of what I've mentioned in those reviews I'm not going to repeat. So I recommend going and watching those videos first if you have not watched them already. This review is just going to be on really The Magical Jungle and how it differs and how it compares to those other books. So first, let's get started with a general overview of what's inside this book. So this book, as the title suggests, is really just a jungle themed book. You're going to have, these dragonflies, a ton of leaves. This is one I completed, which is like a kind of abstract water scene with these leaves. If you're interested to know how I choose the colors for my images, I will link a video up above that talks about that in more detail. This I did with the Prismacolor Premier colored pencils. So we have, just like sort of jungle themed images here. So now let's get into what specifically I like about this book and what I don't like. So first, what I like, as always, Johanna Basford's books are beautiful. I love the imagery in here. It's just really pretty. Just these beautiful drawings here. I think if you like nature themed books, you like the leaves and the flowers and the animals, then any of Johanna Basford's books you are going to love. They're some of my absolute favorite coloring books just because they're so beautiful, and I just think they're really high quality books. It is a little bit of an off-white, which I like. It does mean the color is not going to be quite as vibrant as it would be if it was a pure white, but personally, I think it looks more natural, so I think it fits with the theme. To show you a comparison, this is the Lost Ocean, and as you can see, it is a much brighter white than this. However, Secret Garden and Enchanted Forest are both kind of an off-white, so it fits more in with those books. Also, I like about this is I feel like Johanna Basford really has making improvements to her books based on feedback from customers. So one thing that really bothered me about some of the other books is they had imagery going right into the crease, which was really annoying because it's just so hard to color in that area. So I really appreciate that. That is especially true with the 2-page spreads. So this one, for example, is a two-pager, and they have the crease area totally empty, which I really like. Here's another one, totally empty. However, you can see it is a double-page spread. We have this like river kind of crossing both of them. So I really like that a lot. Also, in some of the other books, I believe it was The Secret Garden, they had like words on the page. Like they would have words going around like shapes like this saying, oh, color in details or color in the butterflies around the shape, or it just had words physically in the middle of the images, and I did not like that at all. It really kind of turned me off from those particular pages. So I'm very glad to see that those are totally eliminated. Also, I really like that there is a variety of there is a variety in terms of the size and the complexity of the images. So this one that I completed obviously is smaller. It only takes up, a small portion of the page, which I liked because I could get in here, I could color this in, a day and just move on, which is what I like to do. But, you have these ones that are larger, that cover 2 pages. This one is a little bit less complex. The individual shapes are bigger shapes. So that's an example of something that's bigger, but a little bit less complex. You also have this is a little bit more complex. Again, a little bit smaller shapes, larger images. So you have variety in that sense. So that is something that I do really like. I think it works well for a lot of different types of people. If you want to spend time and color in some giant two-page spread, you can do that. Or if you want to just get in and out and quickly color a page, there are options for that too. So I really do like that as well. So those are the main things that I like about this book. So those are the main things that particular to this book that I really like. Again, if you haven't seen my other reviews for other Johanna Basford books, definitely see those because I may have mentioned other things that are kind of consistent between them, and I don't want to just be repeating myself from those videos. So now let's talk about the cons of this book. Okay, so the main con comes from something that I have not seen in the other books, and that is there was a significant amount of ink transfer when I colored this page. So here we have this page, I colored in with Prismacolor. Yes, I am somewhat heavy-handed with the Prismacolor. I do like to really press down and get a strong color. However, I've done that with all of my previous books and I didn't have the same problem. So here we have this color, and then on the back there was a significant amount of ink transfer here from where the pressure of the book pressed the ink from this page on the right over here, and now this page is basically ruined. I mean, there is all this black ink on it, and it continues several pages into it. So here we have another one. Even 2 pages in, we still can see the ink, which is really disappointing because I will not be coloring these pages now because I feel like they're basically ruined. So that is something that I would really definitely keep in mind. I don't necessarily think that is absolutely a reason not to get the book. I think it can definitely be remedied by just having, a piece of paper or construction paper or something behind this, so there's not as much ink transfer. But, so I would absolutely recommend doing that. I wish I would have done that, but that shouldn't be happening. That should be an extra precaution. You should be okay not doing that. And so it was disappointing to see that there was so much transfer. To show you a comparison, I'll show you one of the earlier books. So this is an image that I did in the Enchanted Forest with the same materials, the same everything, and then this is the back. So as you can see, there is a little bit of places where you can kind of see an ink transfer, but it's much lighter. It's not quite as visible. So that was pretty disappointing, and I would say that's a negative. Another thing that may have contributed to that is this book I pre-ordered from Amazon. I got it as soon as it came out from the publisher. So I guess that I probably have one of the earlier copies of this. So I don't know how valid this is, but I don't know if the ink is just not quite as dry in this book just because it is a newer version. So I don't know, maybe in a year from now when the books have been just sitting on the shelves, you won't have as much of that problem. But I would say, just to be cautious, I would absolutely make sure that you have a piece of paper in between the back of the pages when you are coloring, because you don't want to ruin any of your pages with that ink transferring. So another thing that I don't like about this book is there is, as I said, variety in terms of the smaller pictures and the larger pictures. I wish, honestly, there was even more of that variety. I wish there were more smaller images that you could do faster. I think that's in some ways just me being greedy because I do really like the smaller pictures that I can just color really quickly. But, you know, that's just my opinion. I wish there were more of them. Also, the final thing that I want to say about this book is, in all honesty, the content and the type of pictures is very similar to the other 3 books. And what I mean by that, it is a lot of nature themed pictures. You're going to have a lot of leaves, a lot of flowers, a lot of animals. And even though, you know, this is jungle themed, you're going to have, you know, the different types of animals and all of that. Like, this picture looks like it could be in Lost Ocean. You know what I mean? I believe there's something that was very similar to this. So from that perspective, the content is similar. And from my point of view, I think it's different enough to warrant purchasing this book for me personally, because I think it's different enough. I really love all of her books. So, you know, for me, I'm willing to purchase it. However, I think if you're someone who already has the other books and you have a lot left to color in them, I don't necessarily think I would recommend like running out and buying this, just because it is very similar to, I think, especially Secret Garden, with a lot of the leaves and the flowers. So for example, you know, here we have this image here of this kind of, we have this underwater scene with this turtle and these type of flowers like this, and we have these underwater leaves. Here's another one in the Secret Garden. You know, we have the same type of flowers and the underwater scene and the leaves. So yeah, I mean, it's different. Of course, there's differences, and I think this book is, you know, great for what it is. However, I think that if you have the other books, especially Secret Garden, and you have a lot left to color in it, I don't think I would necessarily run out and get this, just because the content is very similar in that respect. However, I think if you're someone who likes to collect all of the books, or, you know, you want something different, then totally, you know, get this book. So my final verdict for The Magical Jungle. Overall, I do like this book. I wouldn't say that it is necessarily my favorite of the 4 books. I would say my favorites are probably The Secret Garden and The Enchanted Forest. I really love those books. This is probably not my favorite, especially with that ink transfer issue, which I feel like is more of a problem in this particular book. However, of course, like all of Johanna Basford's books, this is just, you know, a really beautiful coloring book. So I would definitely recommend getting it if you are interested. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.